Hello and welcome to our virtual yoga class. We'll begin the class laying on our backs. Take a moment to find your way there. Noticing for the next hour of class, you are cultivating a deliberate practice of returning to your body. And we're using our breath as our focusing tool as we explore flexibility, balance, strength. We also practice focus. Notice your breath. Inhale, you can exhale, sigh it out. You can have a powerful exhale, sighing out with a powerful inhale. You can broaden your senses. So notice your neck, shoulders, length of your arms. Hands can be resting on your belly, chest. Hands can also face up towards the ceiling, backs of the hands on the floor. Either position. You can notice down the length of your spine, the upper back, mid back, lower back, and then down the length of your legs, hips, behind your knees, down to your ankles and toes. Noticing that we're inviting an intentional centering breath, inhaling, and then always optional, exhale, sigh it out. As we sigh out, however, we start to notice that connection of the physical, mental, emotional body, the release of any of that tension that manifests physically, mentally, emotionally. Belly expands. Ribcage expands. Be intentional and softening the neck, shoulders, down the length of the spine, hips, all the way to your ankles and toes. Practicing that ability to take a moment of pause and rest, but physically letting go. And that is actually something we have to practice. And it's part of a holistic yoga practice to recognize how these moments of pause support us, not only in the next hour of class, but also throughout the length of your day. Notice the quality of your breath. Invite 3 intentional breath cycles here. And after a breath cycle here, we'll invite a full body stretch, lifting our arms up overhead. You're very purposely pointing your toes, palms towards the back. It's a gentle way to wake up the ankles. Full body stretch. You be gentle. You can intensify that stretch by pointing your toes and lengthening your arms as much as you can, lifting your abdomen up towards the ceiling as much as you can as well. So you can see what range works for you, a gentle stretch or a more intense stretch. Pointing toes, lengthening arms, lifting the abdomen. Don't forget a powerful breath, belly expands, and then we'll release. We'll bend our right knee and then grab that knee with our hands. So the purpose here is to stretch and open throughout the lower back, mid back, upper back, up to the neck. However, you're also activating your core. You want to press that left foot towards the front of the room. Let the core do most of the work. Be careful with your neck. And now forehead reaches towards your knee. Now when your forehead reaches towards your chest, tucking towards your chest. Elbows remain close to your belly, to your torso. And then on that next round, we're going to remain there an extra breath. Hold here, press that left foot towards the front. And now drop your head back. Lengthen that right leg up towards the ceiling. And then interlace your fingers right behind your knee, your thigh. Now flex that left foot towards the front. Let's rotate our ankle clockwise, counterclockwise. We want to make sure they're opening up around the heel, pointing our toes downwards towards us. You can intensify that stretch around the calf by pointing your toes downwards towards you. Now it's not going to be completely pointing down, you're just moving towards you. And then focus on your hamstring by lengthening your leg as much as you can. You can always invite a little bend to your knee. And you can bring your leg closer towards you. Hold the stretch. Breathe into what's opening up for you. We can remain here, or you can drop your leg towards the left and hold here. You can sway your leg back and forth, leg towards the right, leg towards the left. Slowly, quickly, or just hold one position. This is for you. Notice what requires opening in your hips, glutes, hamstrings, all the way up to your calves. Where will this stretch most support you for the rest of the day? Breathe into any tension. Got two more breaths here. And now bend your knee, grab your hands right around your knee, round your spine, forehead towards knee, chin towards chest, and then drop your head back. Three times, we're lifting our forehead up towards our knee. As we did earlier, we're gonna hold on that third round, chin towards chest. Then drop your head, bend your left knee, stack that right shin or ankle on top of your left thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs, interlace your fingers behind that left thigh, focus on your right hip. You can hang in here or bring your leg closer towards you, that left leg, left thigh towards belly or chest. Simultaneously, to the best of your ability, you're softening your neck and your shoulders. Invite a slow, deep belly breath. Two more breaths in this pose. And then release. Bend both knees. Grab both knees with your hands, forehead towards your knee, chin towards your chest. You're holding here. And then drop your legs back, or drop your feet back. Now we'll focus on the opposite side. Bend your left knee, grab that knee with your hands a few times, lift your forehead up towards your knee, flex that right foot, be mindful of your core doing most of the work, and then round your spine, tuck your chin towards your chest to get that full release throughout the spine up to the neck. And then on that next round, you're going to remain there. An extra breath, hold the pose. Drop your head back. Lift your leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind your knee or thigh. And rotate that ankle a few times. We tend to neglect our toes, heels, balls of our feet, arches of our feet. Lengthen your leg as much as you can here. Flex that right foot towards the front. And as you lengthen your leg as much as you can here, you're deepening that stretch around the hamstrings. However, you can always have a little bend to that knee if that supports you. Now remain here. You can bring your thigh closer towards you, and as always, optional, you can sway your leg towards the left and towards the right. It depends on what's opening for you. Don't just focus on your hamstrings. Notice how these stretches affect around the glutes, the lower back, hips. See where is the stretch most supportive for you, and then breathe into what is tight, what is opening for you. Remember your deep belly breath. Inhale, exhale. Bend your left knee, grab that hand around that, or your knee with your hands. Round your spine, forehead towards your knee, drop your head back. Elbows remain close to your torso. Oh, actually, let's first bend both knees and then rest our left shin, our left ankle right on top of our right thigh. Let's weave our left hand between our legs, interlace our fingers right behind that thigh. You're focusing on that left hip. Once again, returning to a deep belly breath, neck and shoulders relaxed. Inhale. Exhale, release. Now bend that left knee, grab that knee, flex that right foot, 3 rounds. Forehead up towards your knee. On that next round, you'll remain there an extra breath. Inhale, exhale. Now bend both knees. Grab those knees, forehead towards your knee. Hold. And now we'll go ahead and rock up. We focus a lot in our lower body, so let's lift our arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling, stretch towards the left, and hold. Chin is neutral. You can keep your gaze down towards the floor. If you want to absorb yourself a little bit more into the stretch, go ahead and close your eyes. Inhale, exhale, side out, come back to center, then opposite side. Inviting a generous breath, your eyes opened or closed. Back to center, hands right behind your head, elbows towards the back, twist towards the left and towards the right. left and right. See if you want to hold one pose a little longer or one side a little longer. And then release. Hands on your knees, shoulders up towards your ears, draw them down. Total of 3 times. Third round, shoulders up towards your ears, draw them down, come back to neutral. Let's take our hands, keep them there on your knees. Check in with your posture. Notice if there's any tendency to collapse with our bodies. In this class, we're purposely inviting more awareness with our bodies. And noticing how our bodies become a vehicle and expression of that awareness. Subtle little shifts, activating core, sliding shoulders down. You don't want to stick up your chest or lift your abdomen too much. You want to keep that spine long and chin is neutral so it's parallel to the floor. We'll go ahead and close our eyes. It's always optional, however, if you want to keep your eyes open. I suggest looking at one point across the floor or room. A steady gaze is helpful in creating that steady mind. Eyes open or closed. We're going to invite 5 breaths. Before we move into the more active portion of class, let's take this moment of pause, appreciating our breath, appreciating our experience. Notice which type of breath mostly supports you right now. Inhale and exhale here. You're going to start to slowly open your eyes. Start to shift out of your cross-legged position. We're going to lift up into our downward facing dog. Our first more active pose of the class, we're grounding our palms onto the floor, lifting our hips up towards the ceiling. We're making that upside down V. Now your hips can be lifted, your heels can be lifted either all the way up or it can be sort of neutral, half midway lifted up from the floor, from the mat. You want to purposely bring your chest towards your thighs. So notice that grip with your fingers and palms as you push, bringing your chest closer towards your thighs. You lengthen that tailbone, those hips up towards the ceiling. Breathe into the back of your legs. Breathe into the strength in your arms. Slow and steady breath. Inhale here. Exhale from your downward facing dog. We'll shift into a plank pose. That might mean that you step your legs back just a little bit. Hands are beneath your shoulders, covered here. Hold the pose. And then rock down towards the floor. Take our belly down towards the floor. Tops of the feet are on the floor. We're purposely holding these poses for an extra breath or two. Our hands are framing our chest, and then notice elbows, hips stay close to your torso. You want to press those palms, noticing the triceps do some of the work there. Lengthen the spine gently. Hold. Very invigorating, this upward facing dog. Also want to be careful with your spine. Draw your shoulders down. Chin is neutral, suggest looking straight ahead. You're opening the abdomen here. You can engage your glutes for extra support. And now curl your toes downward facing. Once again, we are remaining in these poses for a few breaths, 2 to 3 breaths. Notice what's activated strength-wise. Notice what's opening up stretching-wise. Plank pose, we're holding our plank pose. Lifting your core up towards the ceiling. Elbows remain close to your torso as you release down towards the floor. Double check your hands. Elbows remain close to your torso. Press through your palms. Lift up. Upward facing dog. Keep your gaze steady straight ahead. Lift up. Downward facing dog. Hold your down dog. Purposely bringing your chest towards your thighs. Neck and head, or your neck and your head are relaxed here. Deep belly breath. Third round, plank pose. Hold your plank pose. Your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Core is activated. Release down towards the floor. Belly can touch the floor. Tops of the feet on the floor. Gently press up. Notice your triceps doing some of that work. Extend throughout the spine. Open up the abdomen. Chest is open. And then lift up, downward facing dog. Hold your down dog. You can inhale here, exhale, side out. Take your gaze right between your hands. Walk or jump up to that forward fold. We're going to take our hands to our shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's sweep our arms up overhead, simultaneously grounding through our feet, being aware of the lengthening of our spine, being aware of our arms lifting, both palms touching. Hands in front of our chest. Inhale here, exhale, side out. Release your hands. Inhale, both arms lift. Palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway or all the way up and hold. Bring your shoulders down. Keep your gaze steady. A steady gaze helps us with balance. A steady gaze is an indicator that your mind is focused, you're clear. The flickering gaze, that's a good indicator of a roving mind. Hold. Steady your breath. Notice if your breath changes when you balance. And now, release. Dive all the way down, forward fold. Inhale halfway up once, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, release. Let's practice slowly rolling up to standing. Our arms dangle here. Head comes up last. There is no hurry here. It's a good practice of physically letting go. And just by practicing that physical release, we also practice letting go emotionally and mentally. It's all part of a holistic practice. This time our mountain pose is hands framing our hips. Now take a couple of adjustments here in your mountain pose to make sure that you feel strong and grounded in this pose, not passive. Want to imagine that if I tried to move, it'd be difficult to do so. Eyes can be open, looking at one point across the floor, eyes can be closed. Now to invite that active pose, you're grounding through your heels. Your fingertips are purposely spreading out. Palms are open. Arms are strong. Core is active. You're noticing it support you. By lengthening the spine, you can draw your shoulders down. Together. Inhale. Exhale. Release. You can soften that mountain pose. Notice that subtle release. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Draw them down. Once again, shoulders up towards your ears. Draw them down. Now interlace your fingers behind you. Purposely bring your shoulder blades closer together. Bend your knees. Now you're going to keep your elbows extended behind you as you pull down. Pull. Neck is relaxed. You're still grounding through your heels. Distribute that weight from the edges of your feet, heels, and toes. Neck is relaxed. I'm purposely bringing my shoulder blades closer together here. Now hands to your shins. 3 rounds. We're going to inhale halfway up. Exhale, release, neck is soft. Second round, inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Third round, inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's sweep our arms up overhead. Actually, your choice. Sweep your arms up or roll up slowly. I like to invite agency in people's practice. What supports you right now? Hands in front of your heart or hands in mountain pose. We gather our breath. Let's take an inhale here. Exhale, side up. Continuously build that bridge of our physical, mental, emotional body. Inhale here, exhale, release. We're going to go ahead and lengthen our stance to prepare ourselves for a wide-legged forward fold. So as you lengthen your stance, it's very different. We all have different body types. You want to make sure that you're challenging yourself just a little bit, but don't spread your legs too much where it just feels very uncomfortable. And then your knees, ideally, are pointing either straight in front, or you can turn your feet slightly inward, so your toes are just slightly in an angle inwards. Now, either one works. Let's take our hands to our hips. Let's focus a little bit on the stretch around our hamstrings by folding halfway. Hold here. Inhale, exhale. Now we'll start to release all the way down towards the floor. Be very purposeful in dropping your head and relaxing your neck. Hands can reach to your toes. You can grab your toes. You can rest your hands on the mat. You can also cup your elbows with your hands. There's a couple of options there. We'll stay here a moment, a few breaths, so feel free to hear your inhale and your exhale. Purposely drop your belly towards your thighs. Breathe, drop the back of the legs, neck is soft. Hear your inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Third cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Take your hands up to your hips. Let's lift halfway and then all the way up. Now, generally, you can go ahead and keep this stance or the length of the stance. Now, turn your right toes to the right. That way, it means your knees are going to turn outwards. Same thing with left toes towards the left. You're going to drop down. Tailbone is soft. Tuck in your tailbone. Core is active. Hands in front of your heart or lift your arms up. Glutes and quads are engaged. Very grounded pose here. Invite a steady gaze. Invite a deep belly breath. Hands in front of your heart. And now lengthen or release your stance. Toes point towards the front or just slightly inward. We're going to invite an upper body stretch by bringing our shoulder blades closer together, interlacing your fingers, bending halfway. Breathe into your hamstrings. And all the way down. Elbows shoot out behind you. Up to you. You can remain here or find a different position with your hands. Be mindful of softening the neck. Feel free to hear your inhale and exhale. Inhale here. And exhale. Hands to your hips. Let's lift halfway up. All the way up. Last round. Our goddess pose. Right toes to the right, left toes to the left. Bend our knees, hands in front of our heart, or you can lift your arms up. Very purposely activating our glutes or quads here. Strong and fearless and open. Release your goddess pose. Toes towards the front. Last round of a wide-legged forward fold. Choose any position here with your hands. You can interlace your fingers behind you. And drop your hands down towards the mats to your toes. Inhale here. Exhale, 2 more breaths. Release your hands wherever they're at. Round through your feet. Bring your feet closer together, but hips width distance apart. Chair pose, another grounded, strong pose. We bend our knees, shoot our arms up. Glutes and quads are active. Lift your tailbone. Inhale here, and then exhale, release all the way down towards the floor. Relax your neck. Hands to your shins, slide your shoulders back. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Second round, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Take a moment here in our down dog. Breathing into our inhale and exhale. We're going to go one round. That's slow here. Slow vinyasa. Holding our downward facing dog. Now plank pose. Hold that plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Belly all the way down to the floor. Purposely adjusting your hands here. Lifting up into your upward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, engage your glutes. Lift up, downward facing dog. Hold your down dog. Inhale, exhale. We'll start to move into 2 rounds of this vinyasa. You can move a little quicker, a little slower. You release from plank pose. You can either take your belly all the way down towards the floor, or not, and go directly towards the floor and inhale up into your upward facing dog. Move into a downward facing dog. Once again, you can move at a different pace. We suggest 3 rounds total. Next round, last round, 3rd round. Plank pose towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. Exhale, move into your downward facing dog. So we're going to prepare for our pigeon pose. First, we're going to lift our left leg, bend our left knee, stack our hips, hold here. Bring your chest closer towards that right thigh. And now left knee towards your left elbow. You're gonna hover for just a moment and then release your knee right behind your wrist. Look behind you, make sure you stretch your leg out behind you, balance on your fingertips, look straight ahead. You're opening your spine and your hip here, but now let's focus on that left hip. By dropping our forearms towards the floor. If you want that extra support, just keep your head lifted. Sometimes both forearms to the floor, perhaps just one forearm. See what supports you and not hurting yourself around that left hip. Now, you also have the option of bringing your forehead all the way down to a fist or forehead all the way down towards the floor. Most of your attention should be around that left hip. Drop your belly towards the floor. 5 breaths. Deep belly breath. And now curl those right toes, ground your palms onto the mat. Lift up into your downward facing dog. And hold here. If you want to take a vinyasa, plank pose towards the floor, inhaling up, you can do that. Otherwise, We meet in our downward facing dog. Lift our right leg, bend our knee, stack our hips. Bring your belly towards that left thigh, chest towards that left thigh. And now hover right knee towards that right elbow, and then release down towards the floor. Look behind you, lengthen your leg. Open up that right hip, and then make any adjustments you need here to comfortably stretch and open throughout that right hip. Either only one forearm on the floor, you can always ground your left palm, so that left forearm long, or you can rest your forehead on a fist or all the way down towards the floor. Focus on your right hip. You're dropping your belly towards the floor, releasing any rounding in the lower back to the best of your ability. Breathe about 5 breath cycles. Inhale here. Exhale, curl your toes, ground your palms onto the floor. Lift up, downward facing dog. Optional, if you want to take another vinyasa of the class. Plank pose towards the floor. Inhale, up, upward facing dog. Otherwise, we meet in our tabletop. We shift our hands right beneath our shoulders. Take a few cow and calf poses to protect our spine. Relatively simple poses to protect our lower back, mid back, and upper back. And after a few rounds here, we'll go ahead and release our tabletop and then shift back into a cross-legged position. We can always take care of our neck and shoulders a lot, or have some more release around our neck and shoulders. We'll drop our chin towards our chest and then roll our head from one shoulder to the next, either full circle or half a circle. I emphasize the neck and shoulders because something we are noticing here is that throughout our day, we're a little bit more unconscious of our body. And we tend to tighten up around our jaw and our neck and our shoulders, especially when we're stressed. So right now, we're balancing that out, opening up, noticing any spots that are feeling tense. Noticing that this affects also the upper back. I will start to come back to neutral position. Find your way there slowly. Eyes open or closed. Let's take one powerful inhale and powerful exhale. And then we'll go ahead and lengthen our legs out in front of us, prepare to lay down. Palms up towards the ceiling, slowly release. Chin towards chest, find a moment to hover here. Feet can float off the floor. Core, glutes, quads are active, supporting you here. And now drop your head all the way back. Once again, powerful inhale and powerful exhale. We'll start to shift into a butterfly pose. Both soles of the feet touch. We'll take one breath with palms facing up towards the ceiling, backs of the hands on the floor. Noticing the effect there. Then take a breath with hands resting on your belly, your chest, noticing any effects there. How different this experience is. You can notice your breath rise and fall more deeply. And then we'll lift our arms up overhead, backs of the hands on the floor, elbows back. Choose where to place your hand. Notice your breath rise and fall. Practice a few deep belly breaths here. You have access to full diaphragm breathing. This is the full breath you can go back to throughout your day. It actually takes practice to cultivate long, deep breathing. You can allow your breath to go back to its natural rhythm at any point. Draw the neck down the spine to the hips. Belly expand, and then exhale, release. We'll start to float both feet off the floor, hands to knees, rock to the left and to the right. Massage around your lower back and tailbone. And now grab both feet with your hands. Start to lengthen one leg more than the other. Bend both knees. You can rock to the left, to the right. You want to get that final stretch from the ankles From the toes, ankles, calves, hamstrings, and hips, lower back, even all the way up to your mid back. Breathe into what is opening up for you. Take a few moments here. And then start to release your legs. If you have one more pose or one final pose to feel more complete for the class, take a moment with that last pose. Otherwise, you can also lengthen your Shavasana by coming into it now. And as you settle into your last resting pose, notice that you can either invite purposeful, long, deep breaths, or you can go back to your breath's natural rhythm. Do be purposeful and softening throughout the body. However, notice that there's no expectations in this last resting pose. It's a pose of releasing, of letting go, of receiving and integrating your practice. It's a meditative pose. You can observe your thoughts, and it's okay if your mind wanders. Notice any thoughts and sensations without judgment. So we'll do a body scan, softening the back of the head, forehead and jaw, maybe even your tongue, your throat, behind and neck, tops of the shoulders, all the way down to your elbows, wrists, palms, and fingertips. Noticing your thumb, index finger, middle, forefinger, and pinky soften just a little bit more, even if you just imagine it. And we'll soften the upper back, mid back, lower back, all the way down the spine to your tailbone. Soften around the hips, glutes, all the way down, behind your knees, down to your ankles and toes. Softening, floating. start to shift our attention back to our breath, purposely inviting a generous and a leisurely inhale and exhale, a very particular type of breath. We can return some movement to our fingertips and our toes. You have the option of inviting a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead, interlacing your fingers, pointing your toes. You also have the option of turning your body to the left or to the right, allowing it to remain heavy and relaxed. Invite a generous breath. And then moving very slowly, start to lift up to a seated position. Lengthening your spine, drawing your shoulders down, chin neutral. We'll take our hands to our heart center and in gratitude, honoring our breath, honoring our experience, honoring that holistic bridge of our physical, mental, and emotional bodies. We'll take an intentional breath, inhaling here and exhaling. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. Namaste.